What's up, guys? It's Mariah Amber here, and today we are gonna go on a journey. Now, I am a huge sports fan. Specifically, I love watching women in sports in whatever capacity that is. But when I think about female athletes, I think of some of the trials and tribulations that they have to face, but also the resilience and the talent and dedication it takes to get there. So recently, I was able to sit down with the women's national team, and we dove a little bit deeper. So I'd love to share everything that I've learned with you, and hopefully you get to learn something as well. Let's check it out. So Natalie, tell me how you developed your love for basketball.
It's funny, everyone always asks me, like, do you love the game? Or like, you have to love the game for the sacrifice and commitment that you put into it. And I actually don't love like basketball in itself. For me, it's always been so much bigger than that. It's been about the journey. It's been about the people that I've met, the countries that I've traveled to, and the experiences that I've been able to gain through basketball. It's really just, it's all about the journey for me and the people that I get to meet and the cool things I get to do along the way.
I fell in love with sports at a very young age, and just being a part of a team and having one goal with a group of, at that point, girls who just loved playing sports and loved being together. I fell in love with basketball specifically through my mom, I think. She was a very successful player in her day, played for Team Ontario, ended up playing in Division II school in Michigan, and I kind of wanted to walk in her shoes, and I saw at a young age what I could do through the sport of basketball.
So Kayla, just tell me how you developed a love for basketball and everything that's led you from the journey all the way to this point.
My love for the game started developing when I was 12. Just the support that I had from friends, family, coaches who supported me and believed in me, that helped to develop my love for the game. And then as I've gone older, that love has shifted a bit in the sense of giving it back and like pouring it back to those who are coming up next.
How has your journey up to this point impacted you as a leader?
Whew. I mean, they always say that you learn from your successes, but you learn more from your failures. And I think the moments of the grind have really created this kind of gritty, hardworking, blue-collar person, not only player, but person. And that's the beauty of sport, is how much it can transform who you are and outside of the basketball court.
How can the sports industry better give more access to you athletes, but as well as help build that exposure?
It's partnerships like this, it's opportunities like this, it's sitting in a room like this that women, female athletes, non-binary athletes don't get the privilege of as much. And so for us to have partnerships and opportunities to tell our stories, this is how fans, this is how communities connect with athletes. This is how you change that narrative, is giving us platforms to speak.
Continuing to share the athletes' stories, I think that's when most people become invested, is when you actually get to know the person or the athletes at a, not just a surface level. So I think that's, the growth of the women's game. I think that's what we're all rallying behind, and I think it'll continue to move forward.
A lot of our Canadian players are leaving Canada. What can we do in the sports industry as supporters to help build up and give you guys the best resources possible, and hopefully one day have a league of our own? What do you think is required to do that?
The first one would be bringing a team or a league, a domestic league, to Canada where we can actually stay at home and actually compete and do what we love in front of our family and friends. That would be incredible.
I hope that we have a professional domestic league before I retire, because that would be amazing to be able to stay in Canada and play games in Canada and make a living in Canada while still like building a network and preparing for life after basketball in the country I want to live in for the rest of my life. So I think people need to kind of put their money where their mouth is, and I think there's definitely a movement behind it right now, and I think there's an excitement and people are starting to think about it, so hopefully I can help be a part of that movement.
As an upcoming athlete, what is one hope, I guess, for the future when you become a leader and you take on that role?
I'd say just to be an inspiration for younger girls. I know I had people to look up to, and that really helped me with my journey playing basketball. I'm still on that journey. I'm still looking up to different people, especially on the senior women's national team. But I kind of want to be that person for someone, because it's a very empowering thing to have women in sports.
I got to talk to Nat yesterday, and she was just kind of telling me, just wherever you go, act like you belong there. And that was a huge piece of advice for me, especially coming into this camp. I didn't feel like I belonged here. It took me a while to get used to things and actually adjust. So I would say that piece of advice for me is something that I'll be able to definitely take into the future as well, and just feeling like I belong where I'm at.
What's a piece of advice you would give to a young girl watching this who wants to be exactly like you?
Dream big. Don't let someone tell you that your dream is too big or that's not possible. If you have a vision, believe in yourself, you gotta plan it out. Like, things don't happen overnight. You actually gotta put in the work, plan it, dedicate that time, sacrifice for it, but it'll be worth it. I promise you it'll be worth it.
One piece of advice I would have for the next generation is not being afraid to make mistakes. With social media, I think there's sometimes this facade people can put on, like everyone's perfect, which is not the case. And I think, that adds pressure on people. It's okay to make mistakes because that's only how we're gonna get better.
CJ actually said this at a team meeting last night, and it's never give up. So it's just simple, but it really impacted me because anything can happen, but I'm just gonna keep working and keep pushing through. And if you want it, just go out and get it.
I like it.
Put the work in and anything's possible.
One thing that really stuck out to me was what Natalie said. When you walk into a room, you act like you belong there. And I 100% will take that with me on my own personal journey. So I hope you guys enjoyed this segment, and I promise you we've got a ton more as we explore this topic with other females in their careers. That's all for now.